Today's weather forecast was looking cloudy with a 100% chance of texturing until I discovered something that fundamentally changed everything that would happen today. To everyone watching, may I present to all of you something revolutionary, something I'd not known about until today: custom nodes. So in Godot, there are regular nodes, but you know what? They're boring. I mean, like, we've seen Area 2Ds and Collision Shape 2Ds and Character Body 2Ds hundreds of times. So what if we were to make our own nodes? And that is what I've done today. No longer will I have to contemplate on why Godot couldn't have added it as an actual node, when I can just make it myself, which will make it much easier, as the amount of coding I'll have to do will go down a lot. Well, not a lot, but a substantial amount. So first of all, we have the camera limit, which actually inspired me to use custom nodes in the first place. You see, I played a lot of Mario Maker 2, and something that I always notice about it is that the camera would stop at a certain vertical and horizontal point. So I thought, why not make a custom node so I can easily have a limit for the camera? And that's what I've done. So you assign a camera path, and then you can select a border color, a border width, and then you can drag the rectangle around to set the camera limit, which is way easier than coding it in yourself. And it's something that Godot should actually consider as adding as an actual node. Now, after I added this custom node, I thought, why don't I add some cool nodes that I think should be in Godot anyway, and that might help me in the future. The roller. Basically, you set a percentage chance. You can set if it rolls when it loads into the scene, and you can set if it rolls only once. And the roller rolls at chance depending on which action mode you set it to. Basically, when the roller receives a signal, it rolls, and then it can send a signal to a target path. It can send whether it failed or passed the chance percent, and then the node that it sends it to can do whatever it wants with that information. For example, if I wanted to make it so that whenever you jumped, there was a 10% chance of the player becoming invisible, well, then I would have it so in the player jump function, I'd have it so it sent a signal to the roller, then the roller would send a signal to the player, and the player would become invisible if it succeeded on its 10% chance. I think this is a way cooler way of doing random numbers. I'm not sure when I'll be using it, but I know I'll be using it in the future. And it's good to build up these custom nodes so I can prepare. The next one we have is probably my second favorite of these, the Spawner 2D. Now, you can set a scene to spawn, so basically your enemy that you want to spawn, or whatever you want to spawn. And the Spawner 2D basically acts as a marker 2D. Wherever you place the marker 2D, that acts as a spawn point for that enemy to spawn. However, one spawn point isn't enough, so you can add marker 2Ds as child nodes of the Spawner 2Ds, and those will also act as spawn points when you add them as a child. Also, the symbol for this is an egg because, well, Minecraft. And finally, we have the ticker. The ticker may look like a timer at first, but it's very different. Basically, it has a time in which it goes for, like a regular timer. So like if it was 1 second, it would go for 1 second. What's different about the ticker is that it can repeat, meaning that it does 1 second multiple times. But that's not the entire difference. The entire difference is that it can send a signal ticked to other nodes. So you can set it to like 10 seconds, and after 10 seconds you send the signal, and the signal connects to something and something happens. So it's like a timer, except it's a ticker. And a ticker is better, because instead of going through the code, the ticker can do it multiple times without code, which is really great. This one also came from a personal annoyance of mine while using Godot. For the custom nodes, I want to thank the creator of @icons, Voxy, in which I took the icons from this free pack on the Godot Asset Store, which anyone can use, and I want to thank them so much. It allowed me to use the icons for this project. I'll leave a link to it down in the description, in case you want to use it for your own game. Anyway, those custom nodes were fun, but you know what else is fun? Texturing. Yep, I did say it was a 100% chance of happening today. And I realized something. Having a tile map which is 64 times 64 makes the tiles far too big. So then I thought, what if I made them 16 times 16? And the result was much better. I made a change to the tile map layer so that when I place it automatically configured to whether it was a corner or a side or a top or a bottom piece, which makes it much easier to draw the tile maps. I also made some improvements to the feel of the game, specifically the character and the spring. I gave Coyote time to the character, which means that after they fall off a ledge, they have 0.1 seconds to be able to jump, even after they've gone into the air. And I improved the spring. Well, it's probably better to show don't tell here. You can probably tell the difference. And that combined with the camera limits, as I discussed in the custom node section, I think it made a good difference. And that's the end of today's video. I'm really happy with the progress we made. And tomorrow, we're going to expand on these concepts into greater things. And with that,